Time to recap Week 1, Game 2 for all the teams across Lawrence County. Here it's our preview show on the Lawrence County SportsNet Preview Show podcast, delivered to you by Penn Ohio Bottled Water. Let Penn Ohio Bottled Water do the heavy lifting and deliver fresh water right to your door. And let's get right into the recap. Our game of the week last week, pair of 1-0 teams, Union and Elwood City, doing battle at Helling Stadium. What a great start it was for Elwood City. They went up 14-0 and 21-7 in the first half on the Scotties. Even had an 85-yard fumble return from a touchdown from Declan O'Brien that made it 21-7. However, Union would end up scoring the final 27 points of the game in a 34-21 victory, the second straight win over a Class 2A county foe for the Scotties. Braylon Thomas doing what Braylon Thomas does, 170 yards and a pair of scores on the ground. He also threw for a pair of touchdowns, one going to Dane Jonke. Actually, that one was thrown from Lucas Stanley. Jonke getting his fourth receiving touchdown on the year. Grayson Blakely, Mike Gunn were the ones who caught the other two touchdown passes. Our player of the game, 3 sacks registered for Andrew Cartwright defensively. He earned our player of the game for his constant presence in the backfield. For Elwood City, Chris Smiley again throws for a touchdown and runs for a touchdown. He threw it to Michael Walters. Second straight week, Smiley has gotten one each direction. Elijah Palmer Kane ends up finishing with 85 yards on the ground, did not get it into the end zone. A pretty good start, though, for the Wolverines, a 1-1 record on the year, and a lot more home games upcoming for the Wolverines, though they might feel like this one, the way they started and then couldn't score in the second half, maybe one that they feel they had a better chance to come out victorious. The other game that we had covered last week between a pair of county foes, all Lancers over the Laurel Spartans. This one was over early as Neshannock, well, they lacked energy in week 0, and they lacked literally any points on the scoreboard as a result. That changed in a hurry. It took less than 2 minutes before Gino Mazzocco ran one in from 9 yards out. Final score was 39-22. But Neshannock held a convincing 39-0 lead to get that running clock going. Mazzocco finished a perfect 9 for 9 throwing the ball. He both ran and passed for over 100 yards in the game, earning our player of the game, our MVP of the game award. After going down 12-0, Laurel did get a great chance down near the red zone on their third possession. Got the kickoff, got to midfield, got down near the red zone, but Dom Cubella stepped in front of a pass and returned it 85 yards to the house for Neshannock for our play of the game. Cubellis also ran a 17-yard touchdown later in that second quarter. Actually, that was at the end of the first quarter, excuse me. And a big credit to the Laurel team, a very young team. They were fighting to the very end. Even when they were in the mercy rule, they still battled the whole way through. Ben Hennon, Nathan Hill, Tyler Shearer, all scoring rushing touchdowns for the Spartans. Those were 2 of the main games. There were 4 other games that we have to recap, and we'll do so when we return. It's our Lawrence County SportsNet podcast series delivered by Penn Ohio Bottled Water.
Don't get left out to dry. Call the Penn Ohio Bottled Water Company for the fastest and most efficient bottled water delivery service in the area. Penn Ohio offers bottled water ranging from 16.9-ounce bottles to 5-gallon jugs, perfect for your next event or office water cooler system. Also, don't forget to ask about their custom labeling options. Visit PennOhioBottledWater.com for more information and to get a quote on their delivery services. Whether it's at home, in the office, or on the sidelines, Penn Ohio has you covered.
Again, big thanks to Penn Ohio Bottled Water for their continued support of county athletics here on the Lawrence County SportsNet. The other games that happened on Friday night, 3 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, actually. We'll start with the home game, Newcastle hosting Mars, and a rough game for sure for the Red Hurricane, falling to the Mars Fighting Planets 42-6. The Planets with 433 yards of offense. The only real excitement for Newcastle came in the fourth quarter. They appeared to score a touchdown, but it was called back for a blindside block. An assistant coach arguing the call gets ejected on the play. Then a holding call on the following play meant Newcastle had a 1st and 58. Yeah, that's a new one. 1st and 58 they had to contend with. Not much in the playbook for that one. for sure. A lot of penalties really stymied any Newcastle offensive progression. Kayvon Gardner gets the only touchdown, finished with 96 rushing yards on the day. So Newcastle now at 0-2. Mohawk moves to 1-1 after their victory 42-8 over Quaker Valley. And how about this? Jay Runner throws for a program record 5 touchdowns in week 0. How does he back that up? Well, how about another 5-touchdown performance? Yeah, that record only lasted 6 days. 375 yards in week 0, 189 yards through the air, and the 5 touchdowns against Quaker Valley. Bobby Fadden catch 3 of them, Blake Logan the other 2. I think the bigger deal, though, for Mohawk is they showed they could get it done on the ground in terms of getting the rushing yards. 189 rushing yards on the day includes a Sam List touchdown. So 189 through the air, 158 on the ground. So pretty good balance right there, a good recipe for success for the Warriors. Wilmington, man, another late touchdown. This time, though, Wilmington able to hold on after taking the go-ahead touchdown late in the game. 15 seconds remaining. I guess you don't leave a whole lot of time left for your opposition. 15 seconds is what was left when Ben Miller scored to make it 21-14 over Greenville. Moves the Hounds to a 1-1 record. About Ben Miller, a couple of great weeks. 2 touchdowns each week. 160 yards here in week 1 after a 200-plus yard performance back in week 0. Give a shout out to Aiden Gardner. He had the other touchdown. That was the game-tying touchdown midway through the 4th quarter. Buda Book with 3 rushing touchdowns on the ground this year as well. All of them come back in week 0. However, the quarterback did have 3 interceptions against Greenville. I think limiting those turnovers is going to be a point of emphasis leading into their non-region game coming up this week. And our final game from week 1, some Saturday action. Shenango traveling down to Western Beaver, and a very bizarre finish the way this one when you look at the stat sheet. Shenango defeats Western Beaver 21-15. However, the Wildcats only had 120 yards of total offense in the game. But they found a way. They used some short fields to their advantage, just kind of matriculated the ball down the field when they were needing to, and ended up punching it in when they got in the red zone. 3 touchdown runs from sophomore Jacob Kammerer, all from inside the 3-yard line. 3 yards, 1 yard, and 1 yard for Kammerer. It's the first Shenango victory over Western Beaver since back in 2016 to move them to 1-1 as well. We'll get a chance to see the Shenango Wildcats coming up this coming week. We'll get you that full preview podcast coming up in the next day or so, leading all the way up to our Friday football broadcast and a Saturday football broadcast coming up this week on the Lawrence County SportsNet, powered by LCAP. Thanks again to Penn Ohio Bottled Water. Remember to give them a call for your delivery of your 3 or 5 gallon water cooler systems. Or remember, you can get cases of bottles delivered straight to your home or work. We're glad we can deliver your previews and recaps each week right to your home or work, wherever you're listening to us on the Lawrence County SportsNet, powered by LCAP.